Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's special St. Patrick's Day workshop. My name is Mike Stratton. I am a systems engineer here at Variphy, and I will be your host. I am joined today by Mr. Matt Sykes. Top of the morning to you, Matt.
Hey, Mike, top of the morning to you. How are you?
Good.
Fantastic.
How are you?
Doing just fine.
All right, so for today's workshop, Matt is going to show us how to use templates in the Zoom phone analytics. But first, we're going to start off with a quick overview of our company and what we do. Then we'll jump into a live demo where Matt will show us the Zoom phone templates. We'll pause some Q&A and get some of your questions answered during the demo. If you have any questions, make sure to ask them in the Q&A panel. Then after Q&A, we'll award one lucky attendee with a $50 Amazon pot of gold. So hang around to see if you've won. Quick overview of Variphy, though. So Variphy is the preferred analytics and management solution for Cisco collaboration, providing industry-leading CDR, UCCX, and Cube analytics, along with fully customizable dashboards, remote phone control, change management, change and DID management, I should say. And coming very soon, Zoom phone analytics and dashboards. But today, we're going to focus on our upcoming Zoom analytics feature. If you have any questions on any further features, if you have some interest in participating in our Zoom beta testing, please feel free to send us a chat in the QA panel or reach out to your account manager for more information. And one more thing before we kick things off. So Variphy does offer a consultative service that provides you a personalized experience with your Variphy system. Variphy's SE team engages with you on a one-on-one basis to remotely provide additional consulting, unassisted reporting, dashboard configuration, and system monitoring assistance. So this is a service that provides you with like a dedicated SD, like Matt or myself, to do all the heavy lifting, giving you a completely hands-off experience. For more information, please contact us, and we'll be glad to speak more in depth about our enhanced consultative services. With all that said, grab a green beer for your corned beef and cabbage, and don't forget your lucky four-leaf clover. We're going to head into the wild. Matt, take it away, sir.
All right. Thank you, Mike. All right. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this week's workshop. As Mike made mention, today we're going to be covering how to use templates in your Variphy system for Zoom phone analytics. So that is what we're going to cover here today. Now, last week and the week before, we kind of covered some how to onboard the Zoom instance with an OAuth private app from the marketplace. And then last week we showcased kind of the dashboard widgets and a little bit of reporting, but today we're certainly going to focus on the report template packages and the flex models therein. So what Mike, if you wouldn't mind, please flip out to the audience grouping here on the Q&A panel. Send out the KB link as well as the template KB. So
yeah,
as Mike is chatting that over, everyone, mainly you're going to see two links coming from him: kb.variphy.com and another one for a specific KB on how to download the report templates from the Variphy website, how to import them into your Variphy UI, all that good fun stuff. So on the variphy.com website, or if you just want to follow along with me, you can go to the support dropdown. Underneath the support dropdown, the second option will be knowledge base. That's where you will be heading to see all the definitions for the Zoom phone reporting templates. The other KB that Mike is sending over is on actually how to go ahead and download them and import them. So very easy to go ahead and access them from the download section of our website. So underneath support, we'll go underneath product downloads. And we will see, let me get logged in here. We will see the additional platforms that we currently support. So that's going to be the Call Manager, CUCM, Contact Center Express, UCCX, as well as Cube iOS. But we have a new section on the report templates, which we are now including. Where are they? Here we are, new, the Zoom phone report template package. So very easily, we're just going to go ahead and download this right here. I have a sample lab that we're going to ingest these right into. So download once, download twice. This will be a zip of about 10 report templates for the Zoom phone platform within Variphy. So let's go ahead and show out in folder. And we'll just extract this zip very swiftly here. Of course, it jumps on the other monitor. Okay, and there's my extracted folder there with the 10 report templates that are in them. So 911 call reports, abandoned call reports, all that good fun stuff. We're going to import those in a second, but I do want to make mention here. Let me just jump back to that article. So underneath knowledge bases, the Zoom phone reporting section here, Zoom phone reporting templates. So this is a kind of a master KB article for all 10 of these reports that I have extracted here. So the 911 call report, the abandoned call reports, the dormancy reports, the org reports. So we definitely have knowledge-based articles on every one of those reports. If you want to download the package, we can download the link right here. But there is a knowledge-based article on every one of these reports that we're going to import. We can review the report, we can drill into the report and get an additional article to specify whether or not we need to make any required changes, or if there are some optional changes that we may want to take advantage of. Certainly those are there. As well as from this page, you can certainly click on the sample report and get a visual image of what a report template in this fashion could look like in your system. So definitely there's not everything turned on in these report templates at the exact moment, but there's definitely a lot of things that we can certainly do, and we'll kind of cover that over the next few minutes. Okay, so I have this this bucket of 10 report templates for the Zoom phone to load into my Variphy instance here. So I'm just going to go to my lab here, and I have a Zoom platform already defined. So this is one of my Zoom accounts here. Zamboni Industries is the name of my Zoom account on this one. I'm going to slide next door underneath the analytics module here into the report section. Now, this will be very, very similar to anyone who has been using the Cisco side of the house in Variphy. So whether that's the Call Manager, Contact Center, or the Cube iOS, same rules do apply. All these screens should look very identical. So in this lab here, I have no reports built out even from ground up or even off of an import, but I have this package here. We are going to import it just like we've previously done all the others for the other platform styles. So on the far right, instead of creating a Zoom report, I'm going to use the hover over and use the import option. Get a little pop-out dialog box here. We'll jump off my personal stuff, and we'll go into the extracted report template package here for the Zoom. So all 10 reports, I'm going to upload these in one shot right now. They should all import successfully, and I should be able to see them laid out on the page in a moment. Zoom in for your eyes. So here they are. Once again, the 911 call report, an abandoned missed call report, call queue usage. So call queues within the Zoom API are kind of synonymous or similar to kind of like call manager, hunt groups, and kind of that variation. So we can drill into those as well. Have your detailed by extension or phone number style report, kind of the one-off report to run based on a directory number, extension, or a external phone number that you may want to track. Device type utilization based off of the Zoom devices that are being used within an environment. Dormancy for users. Organizational summary by departments and users that we're able to read off of the Zoom API. And another organizational component that they have in the hierarchy of Zoom API is going to be a site code. So site would pretty much be sitting on top of department. So there is that level of hierarchy that we can build out in an organizational fashion. Call summary by call location. So those would be national locations that you're going to see on call traffic that's traversing your Zoom API, and we'll probably comb over a little bit of that. And last but not least will be the total call volume by direction. So the Zoom API does certainly leverage call direction within its data sets, so we can easily see inbound, outbound, internal directions of call traffic, and then we can build out summarization therein. So these are the top 10 report templates that we're going to use for this rollout here. The nice good thing about Variphy, as always, this isn't specific to Zoom, but we definitely always incorporate kind of a flex model management, if you will, with our structured reportings. So definitely it's kind of opening up a brand new create Zoom report from the ground up. So as always, we have plenty of filterable options. We have plenty of toggles to turn on or off to include or suppress current additional content. As always, there's going to be grouping measures, sorting measures, as well as quite a lengthy list of grouping options, search summary statistic options as well, period over period, with whether in data tables, volume tables, or charts, and concurrency alike. So again, a lot of options certainly within the Variphy reporting that can be delivered for this this new platform, being the Zoom phone platform, but should look very similar to all of you that have used Variphy for any Cisco reportings in your lifetime. Okay, so I have all these guys loaded up. As you know, Mike shot out the KB link, so I don't think we need to kind of comb over this. Pretty straightforward. This KB just needs an update for the Zoom reporting templates now, but I'll probably take that task on myself. Okay, so now we at least have some report templates. So what can we do? Well, there's a couple things that we can do, and I want to pull this one maybe side by side here. Actually, wrong one. This guy here. I'm just going to dive over into the into an analytics section in this lab here underneath Zamboni Industries, just to kind of walk people through how the history section looks here for a moment, and then we'll dive right into the reports, because this is kind of the foundation, if you will, of how the reports are structured. So one of the fantastic things about Variphy, as I always say, is to actually utilize this history section. Now, I certainly use it in places that I go, kind of like a sandbox, so I can identify data elements within an environment that I'm connected to. So within Verify in this history section, we're always offering a default field here. So whether it's Call Manager, Zoom, Cube, or Contact Center, actually I'll take the Contact Center Express off that. That's handled in a different fashion, but we're offering a default field here. Definitely the search criteria dropdown, another name for filters within Verify. So definitely with underneath the search criteria dropdown, we have, as always, single direction and combination fields that can be used as leverage for filterable capabilities. So we've got your originating or terminating. So you got your all-encompassing inbound, outbound traffic for users for certain numbers, by locations, by sites, et cetera, and departments. So definitely have access to that. I always do use the default field, and we can certainly use our conditional operators. So changing from an equals to a starts with and a single character wildcard, requesting from the database engine where this field has one character or greater for the current time frame, bring it back to me. So quick example here is to run a quick kind of all data for the current day of March 15th here in 2023. So I'm connected to this Zamboni Industries Zoom account here. So far, there's been 1,000 calls have been processed in Verify so far for today. This is the detail, the granular detail of all the call traffic that we are extracting from the Zoom API on our routines. As always, we have the ability to add in the column lookups, spawn report report exports directly from this history section as well. Have all the parameters to go ahead and turn on additional pieces that may be needed, add additional columns, or suppress certain things that may not need to be shown on an output. So definitely educate yourselves in the history section, I always do say. But now to slide back to the report templates. So these, we feel, as always for the other platforms as well that we currently support, that these are fantastic stepping stones. Now, these aren't going to be the end all be all for every system that we encounter, that we know that, but that's why these definitely are fluid. So these templates can certainly be changed. There's definitely the copy options that we have over here on the far right. So my recommendation to people normally is, once we load report templates, is to not modify the existing template. If you want to use it as a base to build off of, just go ahead and make a copy of it. Because once we make a copy of it, then we can go ahead and turn on all additional bells and whistles that one may need. And then certainly it's going to get space copy on the back end of the report name. But you can, and I would recommend this, definitely go ahead and give a new report title label. So that way you're using the content of the report template that's already been built for you by us, and then you can add on top of it or remove certain things. So this MAT test is just an example of this 911 call template here, report template here, but I can now modify it, and leaving the additional 10 reports for my peers, the next rollout to the environment where there may be some more report users getting access into the application to run reports. These being shared out templates, we definitely want people to be able to have the exposure to them to be able to use them, but I would think it would probably behoove everyone just to kind of leave the sample templates alone and just build off of copies. That being said, I have plenty of report examples to show you here. Now, from the report section right here, so I can definitely hit the play button in the report line item. I can hit the run report option up here and get a pop out with the drop down pick list, so I can pick which report I would want to run a report off of, and what time frame and in what format. So that has not changed at all. I'm not going to hit the play button and run any of these live because I have examples of them all right now in a PDF. So just to quickly comb through some of these, we will. So once again, I'll just kind of pull the listing. Excuse me. I wish I could do a side by side. Where is it? Here we are. So on all these 10 reports, so the 911 call report, abandoned call queue usage, and all that, we'll step through those right now as I have some examples. So these are going to be what the outputs can look like just based off of those base templates that we have off of our website. So the first one, pretty much self-explanatory, speaks for itself. A 911 call report template. Definitely, I've gussied up some of the icons and logos and colors just to be a little engaging, I suppose, for the St. Patrick's Day week. So very easy. What we're looking at here is this report template is keying off of 911 call traffic. I keyed off of just the beginning of this month so far. So it's the first couple of weeks of March. One call that has been presented to 911. What is the average duration on that? Total duration. If there's multiples, of course. We also have the detail of the calls being listed out as well. So we have the number that called out to 911. Certainly all these are going to match, being only the one call. but we certainly have graphical representation of that one call or multiple calls if you have a lot of 911 traffic in your environment. Very easy to build out the period over period that is already turned on in here. If you needed to add additional period over period, maybe for instance, maybe cumulative breakdown per hour of day for that relative time frame, may be potential, but that's definitely feasible and additional if you want to throw that onto the template. So that's kind of just 911 calls. Abandoned missed calls. Here's a really good one. So definitely calls within an environment that are not being handled by an entity or rolling voicemail or something along those lines, i.e. where calls just aren't connected to anybody or anything. So very easy for us to go ahead and build these out. We're identifying off of, I believe it's call cancels as the call result that the Zoom API provides for us. So as always, very easy and Variphy to go ahead and wrap this up and put it out to the forefront. So 756 calls have been abandoned. What is their average ring time? While, of these 756 that abandoned over these first 2 weeks of March, it looks like it's just shy of 20 seconds here. But we can see also a little period over period where I'm breaking down per week by week in a data table here, what the call abandonment rate looks like for that week by week. And some graphical charts here as well. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's keep cruising here. The next one is one I really like is a call queue report. So call queues within the Zoom API, once again, a little similar to call managers, kind of hunt group kind of formulation there. But what this is doing is we're able to read call queues off of the Zoom API very easily. And then as always, we can group them and sort them and add whatever additional content metrics that you want to see for those call queues. Definitely totals, I would think, would be right up the line. But we've also thrown in some answered call counts and rates and abandoned call counts and rates as well, and voicemail if applicable. And as always, I'm sure there's some graphical representation on down towards the bottom, but definitely we have totals for all of the call queues for that time frame and all their applicable rates. Okay, and then one graphical by date here on each and every one of these call queues. So definitely can build these out, can put data tables in here as well, or in lieu of. So there's definitely quite a few options there at the call queue levels. Now, another pretty straightforward one is going to be detail by extension or phone number, which I made mention here. So this template is going to be pretty easy. Once you make your copy, you're just going to go into the report contents, maybe update the search set or filter naming convention, because this will show out the results of the report. So if this is your a onesie twosie extension or phone number, very easy to include that, and then it will also call on the granular call history details in this report as well. So these 1,979 call records are all in this report, thusly why the report is 186 pages, but I do not plan on scrolling through all of that. But very easily, I built this example off of call number of 7,900, which is an operator extension in this example here. So very easy to see all the inbound or internal traffic that has come with this operator extension. If there was a call in point that was of consequence, that a manager or supervisor said, hey, we need to have this call reviewed, or who called into the operator, they were very abusive verbally, let's say. So very easy to go ahead and identify that stuff from the report contents as well, or even just from a history search in the analytics section within Variphy. All right, here's another style that we have, device type utilization. So on this one, I'm keying off of device types bidirectionally, so inbound or outbound or internal. So of all the calls that were made for the previous couple of weeks here off of the Zoom platform here, what is the breakdown of all the device models, kind of in a leaderboard fashion? So looks like this Link SIP device here is kind of leading the charge here at 6631. But we can see all the other corresponding Windows clients and iOS phones and Link devices as well, and even some Mac clients that are making up all the total counts for all the utilization within the environment. Of course, we have graphical representation already built in here for total calls, connected, not connected, abandons, voicemails, queue calls, etc. So definitely a good listing and a good kind of benchmark to start with. But you can certainly, as always, can curtail your output results as needed, whether it needs to be lengthier, whether or not we don't need all of these charts. Maybe we just need something pretty global, or maybe data tables, but definitely plenty of options in the Variphy stack. Dormant users. I didn't have any dormant users or time to get to this one, but very similar to how we identify dormant users, dormant devices, dormant directory numbers within the Cisco platforms. We will have the same capability to go ahead and showcase dormant users, dormant devices as well for the Zoom side of the house. Okay, what's left here? Organizational summary by department and user. This is definitely one I like. So bidirectional traffic, very easy to build this out. High level summarization. That's probably not That's just a filler kind of label there, but that can certainly be gussied up. But very easy to build this out. So we can replace these labels. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely custom label sets that we can replace kind of this default nomenclature. But certainly, here's a department. So account services has 4,933 calls that have been handled for this time frame. Obviously, all their corresponding answer counts and abandoned counts and voicemails, etc. But also underneath that, all the breakdowns for all the individual users that are servicing those 4,933 calls. Excuse me. And we'll see here, what's bolded is going to be the department reference and the summarization, and then underneath that will be all of the users that make up that department and that handlement. Volume tables, data tables here for period over period as well, just based off of total call counts, but certainly if we want to add additionals in here, more than willing and capable of doing so. More graphical representations. This one's broken down by hour of day for account services here, but once again, obviously we have all the relative time unit options and plottable charts for that. So whether or not we do a cumulative by hour, by quarter hour of day, or all the way out to month over month, and all the in-between time units for the x-axis slice, we certainly have for our charts. Okay. Wrapping up here, organizational by site. So site is another one, as I made mention, it's another good org code for us, and there's definitely ease of use for it as a lookup. We'll jump back to the UI in a second, but as a quick example, we can easily sort by these site hierarchy off of the Zoom API. So whether that's inbound call traffic or outbound call traffic that we're looking for, or a combination of both, very easy to go ahead and do this and build out the high-level search summary for that said site, and then breakdowns for that site, or all the breakdown for the individual sites that are being used off of the Zoom API and their ranking, if you will. So my dashboards and reports, I always sort these kind of groupings, if you will, by total call count, highest to lowest, to kind of give that kind of leaderboard look and feel, because I believe that it definitely is needed when you're reviewing this from a summarized level. And volume charts here, volume tables. So we can see what the call count percentage of date, low per date, high per date, average total, duration per date, et cetera, et cetera. So plenty of optional fields that we certainly have here, graphical representation as always. Let me get this wrapped up here. Call location, once again, as I made mention, so we're going to see a lot of the domestic cities and states from all the callings that are handled within the Zoom API as it trickles down through the call reporting out of Variphy. So I don't see this being used that widely, but definitely, I mean, the data is there if we ever wanted to leverage that. So I think this one may not be used as much, but it is certainly a feasible report that I think needs to be included in the package. And as always, graphical charts and data breakdowns and summarizations galore. And last but not least is going to be the total call volume by direction. So as I made mention earlier, the Zoom API data set certainly does offer direction as a field. So pretty simplistic, as you can see here. There's not going to be any other directions outside of these three. But for an environment, very easily to see, what is the bulk of your call traffic on your platform? Are we talking inbound traffic, outbound traffic? Is it 50-50? But definitely whatever needs to be reviewed there. And then any call scenarios that we would need to key off of for that, those kind of direction-based calling. So total calls, connected, not connected, answers, abandons, voicemails, pretty standard stuff that I normally include with a lot of these reports. So these are going to be the top 10, or are going to be the 10 report templates that we're going to provide for the Zoom platform. So as made mentioned, knowledge-based articles on all of them, downloadable, sample reports to identify. And last but not least, I just want to bring us back real briefly. Oh, and don't get me wrong, as always, certainly once we have these reports and you modify them with on your own or with our assistance, most certainly you can always slide right next door into the schedules tab here, and then go ahead and automate report delivery on those templates, whether that be an hourly delivery, an hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannual, or annual basis. All encompassing are included and feasible. Okay. But last but not least, I did just want to show you one last time in the sandbox here, kind of the ease of use from a lot of this stuff. So I love lookups and pick lists. I think it's much easier for someone to go ahead and build out reports and build out dashboard widgets very easily, so they can kind of just not have to second guess themselves so many times. So just like Call Manager has a couple of fields that we do that for on Axle queries. So we also have the same capability for the Zoom. So I'm keying off of a filter called Color Department at the moment, and this Zamboni's industry Zoom account that I'm tapped into at the moment. I can read all of the department values. I can use them very easily as lookup fields and build them into search sets to go ahead and build out whatever reports or results that I need. Department's going to be one. Definitely site is going to be one as well. We covered that report, but certainly gives me a pick list here as well. So very easy to kind of grab your regional or whichever organizational site that you want to build reportings around. Now, whether that's single direction or multi-direction, certainly we definitely have type in or. We definitely have combinations therein as well. So if I want to know all traffic that's coming or going from site Omaha office, for instance, for whatever time frame, I can very easily go ahead and run that. So there's definitely quite a few options that you'll definitely have at your disposal to go ahead and polish out your reporting within Variphy. Also, definitely still be some pattern stuff as well. So definitely encouraging you to go ahead and try this out as soon as possible. And of course, if there's any questions or concerns, the support staff here is second to none. All right, Mike, I'm getting a little long in the tooth here, sir. Do we have any questions or concerns from the attendee?
If anybody has any last second questions, either regarding the templates or regarding anything kind of Zoom phone related, Matt's the guy to talk to. So if anyone has any last minute questions, go ahead and toss them into the Q&A panel. Going once, going twice. No questions today.
Okay, that was easy.
Keep it simple. Let me take back control. Let me make sure.
Go right ahead. So how do you make that green beer? Do you got to get food coloring for that?
Green beer? It's whatever they put in the river. if it's good enough for the fish. All right, we are wrapped up with the demo. Great job as always. I can't wait to get my hands on some of those templates. We already did the Q&A, so we're all set there. And then now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. So the winner of this week's workshop gift card is Molly Wing. Congratulations, Molly. Your account manager will be reaching out to you shortly to get you paid. So next week, don't forget to join us next week when Brian and John will go over the summary stats in our Data Summaries 101 workshop. I'd like to thank everyone once again for taking time to join us today. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.